Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. So in the last video, we talked about the Bitcoin dominance and why it matters when it stalls. Okay, now we're going into lesson number 3 right here, everybody. So we're going to continue the lesson from 2, but if Bitcoin dominance is no longer expanding, then the next question that we got to talk about is, where's the money go? Because like I said before, it's not going to get pulled out and put in a savings account and these kind of things. That's just not going to happen. So historically, the first place that we look is into Ethereum, the second highest market cap on the list. So just a quick recap from what was it yesterday? We said, so Bitcoin dominance tells us how much of the crypto market is concentrated in Bitcoin. When dominance is rising on Bitcoin, capital is consolidating. So when dominance starts to stall in Bitcoin, it doesn't mean Bitcoin's weak. See, that's where people get this misconception. It doesn't mean it's weak. It just means that capital is starting to explore other opportunities. And that's just that whole thing with confidence, the fear and greed index, right? When things get better, investors explore other risk on assets. Okay, Ethereum's usually the first asset to confirm whether a market's move is broadening. We know this, okay? Because, like I just said, Ethereum's right between. It's the second one down on the list. So here's what we're going to talk about. More risk than Bitcoin. Yes, it is. Ethereum is a little bit more risk than Bitcoin. It's less speculative than the smaller caps, though. I consider Ethereum is the top. The top 1 and 2 are equal to me. The more I see this market maturing, Bitcoin and Ethereum to me are almost two peas in a pod. Almost. Okay, we can still consider Ethereum the first altcoin, but this is changing. It seems like it's changing. So the reason why is because Ethereum chain, it's heavily used with assets like the DeFi, the NFTs, right? Different infrastructures coming into the ETH network. So it's watched very closely by institutions and such. Okay. So if capital isn't willing to move into Ethereum, it usually isn't ready to move any further down. So we're going to get into XRP too, though. So watch this. So let's look at the chart. Now this is this is higher level stuff, ladies and gentlemen. It can be confusing, but let's not make it confusing. Ethereum chart in relation to Bitcoin, and it's reflecting dominance. Now, the main part I wanted to show y'all is basically right here. Okay, this last couple months, this whole thing right here, this is the dominance of Ethereum compared to Bitcoin. It's been pretty darn stable. Okay, and so that's kind of, we haven't seen these big pumps. We did have a move up back in here. It's a little smaller back in this area, but it's a stable situation. Now, let me back it up. This is money moving out of Ethereum back into Bitcoin. Remember, Bitcoin dominance versus Ethereum dominance. Okay, Ethereum first on this one. Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So as the money flows out of Ethereum, like we're seeing on this downward movement here, it trickles back into Bitcoin. That's more safe. Now, if we see a pump like this, okay, let me get back on my, see this pump right here? This is money moving out of Ethereum into Bitcoin. That's where we see the higher Bitcoin moves overall. Okay, and then a peak, and a peak, and so on. So, try not to confuse yourself. This is all money movement. Okay, we're following the money. Now, let's go over here to our notes. When Ethereum starts holding on or gaining strength against Bitcoin, it tells us that capital is no longer hiding exclusively in Bitcoin. So when this chart starts to kick up, that means money is not hiding in Bitcoin only. Okay, it's starting to move. This is what you got to pay attention to. Okay, doesn't mean altcoin season is here and this whole thing. Its confidence is improving in other areas. So right now, Ethereum isn't collapsing, right? I was just showing you, right? It's not collapsing. It's got a nice little sideways movement. It's holding up, is the message. It's holding up right here. So now, let's look at the Ethereum price chart in dollars. Okay, now we're going to the price chart. This is a little easier to understand here. This is the money price. Okay, it's similar with the sideways movement. This is daily candles once again, the 24-hour candle. Each candle posts 24 hours, and it's moving similar. Okay, this is that last little pump that was testing different resistance zones that we got out of. That 3 to 3100, and then see what we've got a ceiling up at that 3300. Bounce back down, and so we're testing around that 3000 to 3300 is our new zone, which is higher than what it was back here. So we're inching up, which is nice. Okay. The main point I'm trying to get here is that it's almost like these two projects are equal. Ethereum is participating with the Bitcoin movements, which has been the big dog. So we like this, okay? This is a confirmation. Okay, so transitions usually look, this is how the transitions look early from past historical big movements. They not explosive, okay? It's not euphoric, but constructive, moving together. Markets don't fear. They don't go from fear to mania overnight. So it doesn't happen. Even when there's some YouTubers who talk about becoming a millionaire overnight and stuff like that. That stuff doesn't happen. It's not reality. Just look at history. Everything moves in different phases here. So once Ethereum confirms participation, markets often begin to explore other large cap assets down to like number 10. Okay? This is where I like assets like XRP become very interesting, because less money can equate to higher moves because of market cap. Okay, so XRP still hasn't. It's a little bit unresolved. Okay, but markets don't want. We're not looking for perfection. This Clarity Act, we're not looking for it to be exactly perfect and everything like that. We just are looking for just unresolved questions to be resolved. Okay, so when XRP starts moving with Bitcoin and Ethereum, it can usually reflect this risk appetite improving, not headlines changing and stuff like that. We don't care about the headlines. Okay, we'll cover that in the next lesson. But for now, here's what I'm watching. Okay, I'll put these bullet. Okay, there's four bullet points. I'll put them up here for you. Number one, Bitcoin. Does Bitcoin dominance continue to stall? Does ETH BTC hold or strengthen? That's Ethereum against Bitcoin, that first chart we looked at. Does ETH continue moving with Bitcoin? Do other large caps participate or stall? Which is the list of the top 10-ish. Okay? These answers will tell us where we are in the cycle. Okay? When we start seeing the larger market cap tokens move together, that's where we start getting some answers. So it's not about predicting these tops and bottoms like I was saying last time. That's not what we're doing here. Okay, so hopefully you can wrap your mind around that. It does get tricky when we're talking about money movement and not price. But this is the price chart that is similar to those money movements. Remember, Ethereum holds about 12% of the market cap in this cryptocurrency market. We're keeping an eye on that. We're keeping an eye on the Bitcoin 58 to 60% dominance, and we're keeping an eye on the Ethereum around 12% dominance. When that 58 to 60 starts dropping down and Ethereum starts getting closer to that 15, that's when there's going to be some potential explosive moves up. So that's what I want to talk to you guys today about. We're going to finish up this unit, I think, with one more lesson. Lesson number 4 will be the conclusion of this particular, call it a unit that I'm working on here. But it's always in our hip pocket. This information needs to stay in the back of our mind. It's very important. If you need to take a couple notes with those dominance percentages, go ahead and do it. We need to know where the money flows. Okay, that's the message today, everybody. Crypto Hop coming at you. Hop sauce. Appreciate your time, everybody. Give me that thumbs up and the like if you would, please, and the sub. I'm looking for subs, trying to move it up, and we'll just keep checking with you daily. We're going to see soon how this early Q1 plays out in 2026. All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your day. Have fun out there. Peace out. Peace out.